Hey lovely people, I hope you're doing okay. I know this video will have a lot of echo because I'm in this beautiful place by myself. So yeah, I hope you'll get to watch some of my upcoming vlogs after this one, but I'm recording this in Kigali. I traveled to Kigali today for Women Deliver conference. I'm trying to pick a place that won't have that light interfering. That light. I don't want that light interfering with my video. I don't want that light. Yes, that's much better. I traveled to Kigali today for Women Deliver conference. It's work that has everything to do with the Queer Republic. My co-founder will also be here, Zawadi. Hey, love. And so yeah, I got here not long ago, but this video has been pending, so I said let me record it because I have many other things I have to record. I have to record an apartment tour for the place that I'm staying in, and everything else. So I decided to do this video first. If you're new here, my name is Mary-Liz Biubo. I'm a human rights activist, defender, and black queer radical, angry intersectional feminist. I work particularly on LGBTQ rights currently, specializing, but normally I would work on women, children, and queer people's rights, and generally just human rights. But yeah, specializing is important, especially because we're in a field that a lot of people are doing different things, and sexual and gender minorities are really oppressed. And so my thing is, as a queer person, I could as well be a contributing voice to changing systems to protect LGBTQ people in Kenya, in Africa, and across the world. So welcome to my channel. If you're new, please consider subscribing. If you're a returning viewer and you haven't subscribed, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please subscribe to my channel. I will really appreciate. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so I need you particularly to subscribe to my channel. So thank you so much. But over on Instagram, if you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Biubo Uncut. I won't say I will tag it anywhere because those people who know me know you just have to find Mary-Liz or Biubo and you'll find me on all my social media sites. But over on Instagram, I did this thing for Anonymous where you tell people to tell you stuff, or you tell people to send you interesting stuff. And this time I asked people for confessions and I got quite a number. So those are what I'll be responding to. If you look closely, I have them down here. I had to take pictures of them because so that I can be able to record. But yeah, and to start us off, I guess I will start with the first one. Honestly speaking, I've looked at some of them because to take a picture of them, I had to look at them. Yeah, we will start with the very first one. The very first one reads, I made out with my teacher. I made out with my teacher. There's two ways I look at this. I wouldn't say it's shocking because as a millennial, we grew up in a society where children are sexualized a lot. Now we're beginning to have those honest conversations where we're saying older people are not allowed anywhere close to their teachers. But when I'm thinking about this scenario, I'm not gonna be fair if I have this conversation without highlighting the fact that if you made out with your teacher, I would want to know which class you are in or whether you're in primary or high school. And if you're in primary or high school, I'm definitely sure your teacher is a pedophile. Because no matter how much you convince me that you wanted to do it, your teacher should have set the boundary. And I think that's also one of the big topics to discuss. Boundaries are so important. And if your teacher couldn't understand that there are boundaries between you and him or her as your student, to be able to say the only relationship I can have with my student is any relationship that ensures their education is at par, but nothing to do with romantic relationships. And many of us have been victims of our teachers. could be winking, it could be touching inappropriately, it could be, but we were younger, we didn't know any better, we are still growing and learning how to set boundaries. But in that age, we needed adults to be adults and understand that it was wrong for them to do that. So I don't know if that was euphoric for you. I don't know if you felt good. If you did, good for you, right? If it's something you wanted, good for you as well. But if none of those things were within your control, then I'm sorry. Your teacher should be jailed. Most teachers actually in Kenya should be jailed. And I know we both know it. And let me know if you want us to have that conversation down below, because I have so many story times about that. So many. Yeah. The second confession is I have had a crush on you for like 2 years. I find these things interesting because if you tell me about this anonymously, one, chances I'll not do anything about it. This is everything put into consideration. For example, if I was single and all that kind of stuff, but also two, you've told me this anonymously, but also knowing fully that I'm in a relationship. Even if I was to react, what's the best reaction I'd give? I'd probably just say, thank you. And next time you have a crush on someone, tell them about it. Sometimes your crush also has a crush on you. I will tell you that for a fact. Sometimes the people we like, we look at them and we think, can I be with this person? Also because we've been taught and it's ingrained in us that some people are too good for us. So we already are thinking that you can't be with this person because they're not good enough for you. Honey, tell your crush you like them. Maybe your crush likes you too. Or maybe your crush is actively looking for someone to be with. And even if they don't have a crush on you, when you tell them, they'll be open to that opinion. Because I'm a believer love is something that we learn. And sometimes the reason we don't learn it about some people is because we have not thought about it, but them telling you about it makes you think about it. And then you realize, actually, this person is very likable. They start paying attention to you. They start seeing what are the things that stand out for you. And who knows, maybe there are many things that you're all about that this crush of yours likes. So tell your crush, not me. I'm taken. I'm happy. My wife sees this. She's not gonna be like whatever, but she's gonna be, can we find this person? But yes. Third confession, I have a private TikTok to post thirst traps. I don't know who you are. I probably will not know because it's anonymous, but follow me, especially if you're queer. I'm down for good queer thirst traps. I mean, seriously, who knows? Maybe one day I'll also do a video on reacting to thirst traps from TikTok. So follow me. I'm sure you wrote this because you follow me on social media, so you probably know where my TikTok is. You probably know I am on TikTok. So follow me on there. Let me see a lot more of you, please. The other one was I'm gay. I'm happy for you and I'm proud of you, and I'm glad you felt safe to tell me that. Even though it's anonymous, I wouldn't know who it is. Also, a lot of people who follow me on social media are queer people. So I may not know who it is, but for the fact that you felt safe to talk about it, to say you're gay, maybe this is your first time to even type it out. I'm proud of you. I see you. I love you. You're the reason I fight for myself and for you and everyone of my kind. So I see you, and happy rainbows to you. I facetune all my IG pics. I say on social media, be anything that you want to be. I am big on the journey of authenticity and all that kind of stuff, but that's not to say anyone who is not on the journey of showing themselves and things that they consider insecurities or things that they consider flaws that are doing the wrong thing. No, you do what you must do. It's your platform. It's called social media for a reason. It's your platform. You get to decide. And people who have an interest with what you're doing will find you there. But never once let anyone make you feel like you have to be anything that you don't want to be. Yeah? I love you and I respect you, and do what you must do. Yeah. The next one is I caught my dad cheating on my mom. I have to go on another slide of this video, but I guess I will react on it here. But damn, this is a tough place. I've been there before. I have a couple of things that I need to say, but I guess I'll say them in a short while. So, when it comes to catching your parents cheating on each other, it's such a complicated place to be, especially when you're a child, because we grow up in a society where we are made to see our parents and all adults really as righteous people, not in the Bible way of things, but in the way of whatever choices they make, whatever thing they do, they're adults, they know better, but in reality they don't. And people don't realize, even if we are children, we do see things and we do know things and we do know the truth. And I think fundamentally, what I think needs to shift a lot in the society that we live in is making it okay to talk to children about these things, as opposed to making children feel like they're dumb, they don't know what is happening. I'm saying this because I was pretty young when I was staying with my dad briefly, and my dad would cheat on my mom. And it was so complicated because in these times, these things would happen, and at some point I told my mom, but my mom wouldn't believe me, and then I'll be told things like, stay out of your parents' business and all that type shit. And that thing marks you, because as a person who is growing up in a society, it's either you become a product of your trauma, where you become a person who does all these things that were done that made you feel a certain type of way, or you learn from them and realize for you to lead a fulfilling life for yourself, you have to become better than all those things. And kids always know. It's the parents who make it complicated for things to unlearn trauma, because if I tell you something bad is happening and then you defend the person who is doing it, or you protect the person who is doing it, the bad thing, then essentially the lesson you're teaching me is that some people do bad things and that's okay, but bad things shouldn't be happening. Your parents can disagree and all that kind of stuff. And I did a TikTok recently where I was talking about the concept of respect. In an event where it's a family and there's children involved, when parents cheat, not only are they disrespecting themselves and their partners, they're also disrespecting their children, because I'm not so much into purity culture and this holy thing, holy matrimony and all that kind of stuff, but I'm a big believer a home you bring up your children should be a safe home, should be a home that you're very vigilant about ensuring safety, because the people you've brought into this world live in that home. So the fact that you have to catch your parent in whatever circumstance means they didn't even respect the home they bring you up in, because the one who will be uncomfortable is you, and I'm sure you are uncomfortable. And for everyone who's watching this video, please feel free to comment down below and tell me your opinion about that. The next one is, I think lizard people are real. Lizard people. Are lizard people like fish people, like mermaids or something? I'm not sure you know what lizard people are, but I'll Google after here to try and see what it means. But yeah, I don't know who lizard people are, so I'm like, go you believe. I mean, I don't even know what that is, and your belief is your belief, so it's okay, or your thoughts. So if you think they're real, maybe they are. I don't know. The next one is, I failed a year in school. I feel like most of us did, because if you're a millennial, if you're an older Gen Z, most of us grew up with a lot of trauma, and we didn't have outlets. At least right now, we've started prioritizing conversations about mental health, and a lot of people are going to therapy, a lot of people are seeking help. So when things get complicated, you are able to communicate that the reason you're struggling is because of ABCD. But also we have a learning conditions, things like ADHD, dyslexia, they affect your capacity to learn. And so because of those things, and growing up in a society that didn't consider mental health a thing, but also didn't consider overall health of a child a thing that contributes to better learning, if you said you didn't understand something, your teacher will lash at you and tell you you're slow. Your parents will also tell you, they'll compare, they'll tell you, you're in the same class with so and so, she's doing really well and you're not. And so that puts pressure on you, increases, if you have a learning condition, it increases how the learning condition affects you. And the more prevalent it becomes, the lesser it is for you, the lesser you are able to learn. and that affects your results. So failing is inevitable at this place. So, and I don't like the concept of looking at sitting for exams. When you pass, you've passed, but when you didn't pass, you failed, because that is what has deterred a lot of people. A lot of people are losing their minds. A lot of people are struggling with mental health because they feel like they didn't perform, they can't go further in life. I promise you, you can go very far. Just a lot of trauma contributes to how you function when you're in a learning institution or when you're learning. And so be kind to yourself. Tell yourself, just because you failed a year doesn't mean you failed at life. And you can always make the best out of yourself. Just make decisions that are good for you. Make choices for yourself. Don't allow anyone to make those decisions. But also very important, be honest with yourself about your mental health. If you're struggling, allow yourself to go through that. Go for therapy, have a circle of people, a support system that is able to hold you in those vulnerable moments, so that it can be easy for you to deal with them, so that when you're done dealing with whatever you're struggling with, you're not living with trauma that hinders and interferes your learning curve, because life is a learning curve. Just because you failed a year in school doesn't mean you failed at life. There's many things you learn and you'll become better and better and better. So I'm proud of you regardless. The other one is I drive but never got my license. I hope the government never catches up on you. I feel like the way we are right now, the way things are happening in Kenya, if you find a way to cheat a system, cheat it. But be safe, because when you're arrested, it's going to be really bad and the law will come to play, because that's how the law works. We are normally told, sheria ni msumeno unakata mbele na nyuma. In translation, the law is like a saw, it cuts back and forth. But truth is, in a country like ours, the law is not like a saw. The law is like a panga. It chooses who to cut. It can choose to cut a tree. It can choose which tree to cut. It can choose what time to cut what tree. It can choose which trees to not touch, and all that kind of stuff. So be careful, be safe. I hope the system doesn't catch up with you. While it hasn't, still take all that you can from the system, because the system has taken everything from us and almost always gives us nothing. What? The next one is I lied on my taxes. Again, another thing that I have the same belief. We live in a system that takes and never gives. We are even double taxed, triple taxed. We are illegally taxed, and there's no room to speak about this. All we are seeing is a new finance bill with more taxes on top of all the other taxes that we are having. So if you find a way, besides our politicians, business owners, investors, and all that kind of stuff, they benefit from tax havens where they evade taxes and they thrive, and the government enables that. So if a common mwananchi like you and I can be free of taxes, be free and stay free. Proud of you. Just don't let them. I hope, for your sake and my sake, in situations like this, I hope death catches up with us before they catch up with us. Because when we're dead, what are they going to do? Nothing. I kissed an animal once. Well, that says much more about you than the animal, because it means you're not a consenting human being. So probably the thing I will say is learn consent, learn how to ask for consent. And when you learn about consent, you realize you can't do anything sexual with an animal, because an animal can't consent. An animal can't agree to have anything sexual with you. So because you are not yet there with consent, this is me telling you, watch yourself and do something better. Learn what consent is about. Learn how to ask for things from people. And when you learn that, you will learn you can't ask for things from animals, because they're animals. They're animals for a reason. And you sit top of the hierarchy on the ecosystem of animals in the world, because much as you're an animal too, you're an intelligent one who can think, who can make decisions. So do better. Okay? Do better. Another one is I have you pinned on my iMessage. That's both a good and a bad thing. Bad because I don't know who you are. Good because thank you, but DM me and let me know who you are. At least it's established between the two of us. We both use iPhones. I know all the people, no, not all. I know some of my friends who use iPhones. So let me know. so that I know I am priority. When I'm texting you, I know you will see my message almost immediately. We will go to another slide. So yeah, do let me know in my DMs who you are so that I know I am pinned in your messages. Otherwise, I don't know. To be fair, I have no one pinned on my iMessages because I have no one pinned there. I've already done that. The next one is how to build self-esteem for someone who has struggled with it since she's a little girl, and now realizing how esteem issues have fucked her up now that she is older. Dealing with self-esteem issues is one, unlearning shame. I think for me the biggest thing was unlearning shame. As children, and I was watching a video just before I started recording this YouTube video by the Oddity, Sophie. She's a YouTuber, she's a content creator. She calls herself the Oddity, but her name is Sophie. And she was speaking about how we grew up in societies where, for example, the first people who will comment about your body and how it's not so beautiful is the people in your homes, your aunties, your mother, the females in your home. This makes it really complicated for young girls growing up in societies, because we are taught when we are growing up that our bodies are a commodity for exchange. So many people have esteem issues, I included. I have esteem issues. I've had esteem issues for so long, and many times when people see me being very expressive, people think I've been like this since I was younger. No, there are times I hated my body. This body, I thought it was an ugly body. It took me unlearning the shame I was taught mostly by my mom. My mom would comment things like, sometimes I always look at you and how big your tummy is, for example, and I wonder how you look like when you get pregnant. And I will not sit and pretend saying that is a good thing, because in reality it's not. You're teaching your child to imagine their body in their worst state. You're teaching them that if they become pregnant, they will ruin their body, right? As a mother, that's the last thing you should be doing to your child, because regardless of the changes your child experiences, even in childbirth, your child should be able to rely on the fact that regardless of how the world would look at her, because we have cases of husbands treating their wives badly after childbirth. We have societies really looking at you as a degraded being because you've given birth. And so the safest place to go back to is your family, the people at home. And these people shouldn't tell you things like that. I remember I started wearing makeup when I was really young, and I remember my sisters would comment something like, you have too much blemishes. If you followed me for so long, you know, I've struggled with hormonal acne for so long. I kind of figured at some point growing up it was hormonal, but I didn't have remedies until I started my treatment for endometriosis and PCOS. That's when I realized my acne is clearing. But before that, I grew up in a family that would tell me, no, you can't leave the house like that. You have too much blemishes. You don't look so nice. So one of the things you learn very quickly as an adult, and I'm glad you're an adult now, is unlearn that shame. Learn to love yourself. Speak positive things to yourself. Speak positively to yourself. When you look at yourself, no one can see your beauty before you see it yourself. No one can put value on your body before you put it on yourself. Body image, the society in general, how you perform in school, how bubbly or not you are around your siblings, but also people of your age in your family, both nuclear and extended. These things inform how you become this person who is enclosed, introverted, removed, and all that kind of stuff. But I think one of the things I normally tell people is work on unlearning the shame. When someone tries to shame you, take your power back and remember to tell them, you see, I get you have a problem with my body, but it's my body. I have no problem with it. If you have a problem with it, that's none of my business. So go deal with it over there. Don't deal with it here, near me. Because me and my body, we Gucci. If it's an insecurity that comes from, sometimes it's relationships, you date people and people make you feel like you're not, they can't be your helliers. They treat you like an option, and that's a bad one, right? Look at them and tell them, you know what? The whole world will queue to to want to be with me. So if you're gonna treat me like I'm not worth it, I'm gonna leave you. If you're gonna treat me like a joke, I'm gonna live like it's funny and I'm gonna laugh. Learn to affirm yourself. Difficult as it may be, sometimes write the affirmations. Put them on, if you have a mirror in the house, for example, if this is a mirror, put them here on the side. Every time you're looking at yourself in the mirror, read those affirmations out loud so that you can remind yourself of the gem that you are, of the amazing human being that you are. The thing about self-esteem is that it's called self-esteem. It's how you feel about yourself. You have to change how you feel about yourself for the world to even attempt. The world, nobody cares much about it, but we've been made to believe that we should care. Beauty standards and all these other things that are put together. Do not fall for that. Love yourself. I love you. I care for you. I want you to show up as the authentic self that you are, as the authentic person that you are. So show up as that. Everyone else, yes, wakwende na huko. The next one, and we're coming to a close of this video. How would you deal with being slut-shamed? Being a slut is not even a thing, because I normally ask people when you're speaking about slut-shaming, but also when you're speaking about, for example, prostitution and things like that, why is it okay for one person to have sex with the same person 20 times, but it's an okay for one person to have sex 20 times with different people? Slut-shaming has no foundation. It's not realistic. And the people who create it, they create it because they read your insecurities. They know if they tell you you're a bad person because of something that you're doing. They know if they tell you because you're a polyamorous person, you're a hoe, you're cheating and all that kind of stuff. They know it will get to you, and so they say it intentionally. But when you own your truth, you want to sleep with someone, some people, sleep with the people you want to sleep with. When people say something, that is noise. And what do we do to noise? We remove ourselves from where the noise is, or we remove people who are causing noise. If it's our space, we remove the things that are causing noise. If it's not our space, we remove ourselves from the space. We leave people to make their noise and you go away. Don't ever allow, it goes back to unlearning shame. You can only be shamed if you're shaming yourself already. Someone will call you a slut, but if you don't think of yourself as a slut, it will be like, oh, that's what you think. There are many things you think about many people. There are many things people think about me. Those things don't make me who they think I am. I am who I am. And if you want to know me, stay on the line. I'll introduce you to myself. Yeah? I'm not anything anyone says, because that is their view of me, their definition of me, and it's informed by their biases, and everyone has biases. And so I can never give anyone power to define who I am based off of their biases. Don't let that be your thing as well. The next one is, does sleeping with multiple men before coming out make me less of a lesbian? No, I don't think that needs any explanation. It doesn't matter how many people you've slept with. It doesn't matter how many men you've slept with. And as a man, it doesn't matter how many women you've slept with. If you identify as gay, you identify as gay. And our identities have nothing to do with who we have sex with. Because different people have sex with different people for different reasons. Sometimes you just want to have sex because you're horny. With the person you are having sex with is there, you're having sex with them. That doesn't define your whole identity, right? They can be intertwined and they can align and all that kind of stuff, but one doesn't define the other. So regardless of who you had sex with, you're a lesbian, baby. If you meet me and you tell me, hi, my name is Glass and I'm a lesbian, regardless of whether I've known you before, regardless of whether I've known who you've dated before, that will never take away from who you are. Stay true to yourself. I think I'm winding down. This one says, in case you forget, you fucking rock. I see you and I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you for that affirmation. I see you and I love you too, and I'm grateful. And thank you for seeing me. It's very, very important. If you are not a newbie here, you know how important that is for me. So thank you so much. I appreciate. Also send these messages to me in my DMs, not anonymously, so that I can say thank you to you. Thanks. That was the last message. So I'm done. Thank you so much for affirming me. I really appreciate that. And I guess because my time is running out according to the timing, I will see you guys in the next video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And tell a friend to tell a friend. I love you so much, and come back here for more queer content. Cheers. Bye.